Hi everyone and welcome to Just Love. My name is Paula and I'm here with Judy. Hi Judy.
Hi Paula, hi everyone.
In this episode of Just Love, Judy is going to discuss multidimensionality and she's going to ponder on why science has in the past and still is to a certain degree having trouble acknowledging all of this. I've been looking at quantum mechanics and quantum entanglement and how it parallels so closely with sending Reiki lately.
Yes, Paula, for sure. It is really weird to me why science has so much trouble acknowledging this, because it's simply a matter of being open to the fact that there are way more dimensions in existence than our limited 3D perception. I can see how religion has trouble getting its head around this, so tends to reduce everything, God included, down to 3D, but I'd have thought science would be more open. At least they are now opening up slowly through quantum physics.
So our 3D perception does provide the foundation for our understanding of the world around us. Earth is governed by the 3 spatial dimensions and 1 time dimension. What would you say to the science community from your dual soul aspect about the reality of more dimensions?
Quantum physics is taking them in the right direction, but what also needs to be understood is that human consciousness on Earth is very limited. We can only access around 10% of our potential conscious awareness and therefore cannot perceive any dimensions higher than 3D. This is the reason why we have to have equipment like TVs, radios, computers, etc. to enable us to even access those frequencies such as AM, FM, X-rays, gamma rays, etc.
So TVs, radios, computers, etc. enable us to access frequencies such as AM, FM, X-rays, gamma rays, which are outside of our 3 spatial dimensions and 1 time dimension that we use to navigate our life on Earth.
Yes, and even time is limited to 3D. The problem as I see it is that science tends to believe that brain and consciousness are the same thing, but they're not. I can explain this in terms of the lungs. The lungs are the physical organs which enable us to access the air that is all around us, which we have to breathe to stay alive. The brain is the physical organ of the body that enables us to access consciousness that is all around us. The amount of air we can take in is limited by our lung capacity. The amount of conscious awareness that we can take in is limited by our brain capacity. Once we step out of the limits of the physical body, we can tap into pure consciousness, hence the higher frequencies we can potentially access during out-of-body experiences.
So Judy, how does quantum mechanics and quantum entanglement parallel Reiki so closely?
This is exactly what Reiki is about, and is an example of how science and spirituality can come together. This is the path that Earth plane science needs to follow for further advancement. It's also the only way Earth plane science will be able to understand off-planet technology.
Off-planet technology, what do you mean when you say that?
Okay, by off-planet technology, I mean the high-dimensional technology used by the ETs and other higher interdimensional cultures. Their technology is closely connected with consciousness. For example, the crew of an off-planet ship is consciously connected into the consciousness of the ship itself being an example of conscious technology.
Okay, so back to how quantum mechanics and quantum entanglement parallel Reiki so closely.
Reiki, as do other Eastern healing modalities, operates on much higher dimensional frequency than does traditional medicine, which is limited to 3D. A woman by the name of Judith Pennington put a fascinating article up online on July 30th, 2011, entitled The Brain Waves of Reiki. She carried out research on what she calls a mind mirror, which is a unique dual hemisphere composite EEG invented and used by British biophysicist and Zen master C. Maxwell Cade to study the interrelationships of 4 categories of brainwave frequencies, beta, alpha, theta and delta, during meditation, energy healing, psychic inquiry and spiritual communion with Source. Here I'm quoting from Judith Pennington's article. Several Reiki practitioners were tested using this equipment, including Hans Steen of the International House of Reiki, who teaches very traditional Reiki and hones his skills with regular visits to Japan.
And what were the results?
The results were truly amazing. The 2 brainwave patterns identified by Cade in his book, The Awakened Mind, as higher states of awareness were consistently produced by both practitioner and client. These are the open, flowing, awakened, meditative mind of clarity, creativity, insight, intuition, and spiritual connection, and also the evolved mind of unity, bliss, and illumination. These patterns are commonly seen in practiced meditators, energy workers, yoga practitioners, etc., but rarely seen in people not committed to some kind of spiritual practice.
And that's why you always recommend having a spiritual practice of some form. Whenever I ask you, what can we do? You always return to this.
Yes, exactly. Franz Steen's mind was even going into the Yoga Nidra brainwave pattern, with only the lowest and slowest delta waves being present. This is extremely rare. And while doing Reiki, he was able to consistently hold this pattern, even if he was talking or telling a joke. What excites me about this is the fact that it proves Reiki, which is simply life force energy, can be scientifically measured using EEG equipment.
Yeah, this reminds me of information in our Reiki 1 notes on research done by Valerie Hunt using EMG electrodes, which are generally used to measure the electric potential of muscles. She tried measuring the bioelectric energy in areas of the body corresponding to the chakra points. As it says in our notes, the normal frequency of brain waves is between 0 and 100 cycles per second, with most information occurring between 0 and 30 cycles per second. The normal frequency of muscles go up to about 225 cycles per second, and of the heart to 250 cycles per second. The readings from the chakras were in a band of frequencies between 1,000 and 1,600 cycles per second, figures far higher than the radiating from the gross physical body. Valerie Hunt also worked with Rosalind Breuer, a trained psychic observer. Breuer's auric observations of colour changes in the subject's energy field correlated exactly with the EMG electrode recordings. Each colour in the auric field had an energy pattern that could be monitored by the EMG machine.
Absolutely, and this is why we keep pushing spiritual practice as the path to higher human evolution. It's all to do with working on heightening the frequency of the energy system of your body. So, if you'd like to read more about all of this, my books are available from Amazon and can be accessed through links on my website listed below. They are Human by Day, Zeta by Night, followed by the Zeta Message, then Extraterrestrial Presence on Earth, Lessons in History, and my 2 most recent books, both Kindle editions and both also available in German, An Interview with an Alien, Comments by an Undercover ET, and Cosmic Spirituality, Blending Religion and Science in Oneness from an Off-Planet Perspective.
Thanks, Jude, and thanks everyone for listening. Please share, like, and subscribe, and sending you all much love, and bye for now.